When you need a new roof, everyone tells you the same thing. Check the BBB, make sure that they're licensed, and then get 3 bids. But a recent consumer report found that 1 in 3 homeowners end up regretting the roofer that they chose. 1 in 3. So maybe getting 3 bids isn't the best way to evaluate who to hire, because everyone does it and still a third of the people regret it. So what do you actually need to know? Stick with me, because what I'm about to share could save you thousands of dollars and a massive headache. My name is John O'Brien. I'm the owner of Rome Roof and Solar, and over the last decade, I've helped thousands of homeowners replace their roofs. But more importantly, I've helped countless people avoid the buyer's remorse that absolutely plagues this industry. So today, I'm pulling back the curtain on the roofing industry. I'm gonna give you the 5 things you need to know before you ever sit down with a contractor, because I want you to come across as a smart buyer, not an easy target. So whether you choose to work with us or not, by the end of this series, you'll have everything you need to make a decision you won't regret. Let's start with the real reason most people get 3 bids in the first place. It's that they have no idea what a roof should cost, and they don't want to get taken advantage of. And hey, I get it. When you search it online, you get a massive range. You know, anywhere from $10,000 to $50,000, which is basically the internet's way of saying, yeah, we don't really know either. Well, this lack of transparency is why we built an instant quote tool. We use satellite imagery to give you a pretty accurate ballpark for your specific home in just a few seconds. No appointment, no salesperson hijacking your evening, just real price transparency right up front. I've linked it below, so if you happen to live in our market and you want a quote, we've made it super simple. But here's what I really want you to understand, and this first point is critically important. Price is a terrible place to start when you're evaluating contractors, because the difference in what contractors actually pay for labor and materials doesn't vary as much as you'd think. Therefore, the 2 biggest cost drivers are 1, the grade of materials being used, and 2, the depth of the scope of work. Now, I've broken down both of these topics in detail in other videos, but here's the bottom line. If 2 contractors are quoting the same exact materials and the exact same scope of work, you'd be shocked how similar their prices would be. So when you see a bid that's dramatically cheaper than the others, it's not a deal, it's a red flag. Something's different, and they're counting on you not knowing what to look for. Which leads me to my second point. What isn't said speaks louder than what is. You've probably heard the old adage, make sure it's in writing. And that's good advice when you're about to enter into an agreement with a contractor. But what if you don't know what should all be in writing? Well, here's a little insider knowledge for you. And this is something most contractors would never admit. Vague quotes are often intentional. You see, contractors leave their bids vague so that they have maximum flexibility to use whatever materials they want. Typically, the cheapest ones that still let them maintain their margin without making them look too expensive on paper. So instead of just collecting a bunch of bids and hoping for the best, I want you to flip the script and be a smart buyer. Know what you want beforehand and be prepared with specific questions about the materials and the scope. This does something powerful. It immediately weeds out the bottom of the barrel companies because they won't be able to answer your questions, they won't know the systems, and they won't have the warranties you're looking for. You see, the goal is to establish your scope first so that when you do sit down to compare price, you're actually comparing apples to apples and not a Maserati to a Mazda. Now, my third point is the most important piece of advice I have for you. Slow down. You see, studies show that 54% of people decide on a roofing contractor within just 4 hours of starting their research. So slow down. This is a major home project, and considering the stakes, doing a little extra homework is definitely in your best interest. So here's what due diligence actually looks like. Go to their Google profile, read through some of their reviews, and then ask yourself, do these reviews look like real people wrote them? Or do they all sound like they were written by a bot farm in the Philippines? Then check out their social media and YouTube presence. I mean, after all, we're in the information era. Are they publishing content? Do they seem like they actually know their craft? Real companies that do great work earn credentials. Ask about them. What manufacturer certifications have they earned? What awards have they earned? Insist on getting a copy of their certificate of insurance. Make sure they carry both general liability and workers' compensation. See, nobody really talks about how important this is, but if a worker gets hurt on your roof without workers' comp coverage, that liability can land on you. And finally, ask for a list of references and actually call them. Call their past clients. Call the manager at your local supplier. Call the manufacturer rep for your area. Because every single one of those people should have nothing but good things to say about your contractor. Therefore, if they don't, that's not a yellow flag, that's a red flag. Now, this might sound a little extreme, but re-roofing your home is a massive investment. And unfortunately, this industry is full of bad actors, pretenders, and fly-by-night operators. the cost of making the wrong decision is high. Now, the fourth thing I need you to know is that you should always trust your gut with regards to communication. It sounds simple, and yet it gets overlooked constantly. You see, poor communication is the #1 complaint of roofing contractors nationwide. So if someone's slow to respond before the job, if they say that they'll send you something over and they don't, if they can't clearly explain how something works or why it costs what it costs, ask yourself one question. Do I think this gets better after the project is complete and I've already paid? Because in your head, you already know the answer. It won't. In fact, it's just gonna get worse every time. So trust your gut. If it feels off in the sales process, it's just gonna feel a lot worse when something goes wrong mid or post-project. Which leads me to my fifth and final point. Will they be around when you need them? You may be surprised to learn that 80% of roofing companies fail within their first 3 years, and a staggering 96% don't make it past 5. Now, I'm not saying that a new company can't do some exceptional work. Sometimes the hunger of a new company means they'll actually outperform some of the more established ones. But here's the question I want you to sit with. When something goes wrong with your roof 2 years from now, and you need that warranty honored, will this company still be around to pick up the phone? Longevity isn't everything, but it's not nothing either. Most people walk into this process completely unprepared, and most of the roofing industry counts on that. They count on you only caring about price. They count on you not knowing the right questions to ask so that they can do whatever they want. They count on you moving too fast and falling for their facade. They count on you ignoring the warning signs of their poor communication. They count on you being impressed with their lifetime workmanship warranty, even though there's a really high chance their company won't even exist to honor it. But now you know better. And if you made it this far, you're now 10 times more prepared than the average homeowner to make a decision that you're not going to regret. In this next video, I'm going to show you something that surprises almost every homeowner. What actually goes into a roofing system beyond just the shingles? Because there's a lot more underneath there than you think. And what's underneath is exactly where corners get cut.